Hello students, in this video I will teach you chapter number 1 from unit 3 in English Reader. The name of the chapter is The Missile Man. In this chapter, an interview was taken of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and few questions were asked. So the questions are mentioned in the chapter and the answers are also written. So I will read the chapter line by line and explain everything to you. The first question asked was, could you please narrate one incident that proved to be a turning point in your life which eventually shaped your profession? So the first question meant that Abdul Kalam had to narrate an incident that took place in his life which ended up becoming a turning point which had affected him positively and eventually made him choose this profession for himself. It happened at the age of 10 when I was studying in class 5. So, Abdul Kalam is now talking about the incident that happened. He told that he was 10 years old when he was studying in class 5. I had a teacher, Sri Seva Subramaniam Iyer. He had a teacher whose name was Sri Seva Subramaniam Iyer. He was one of the best teachers in our school. One day he was teaching about birds' flight. So he was one of the best teachers in the school, and one day he was teaching the children about how a bird flies. He drew a diagram of a bird on the blackboard depicting the wings, tail and the body structure with the head. He explained how birds create the lift and fly. So he had drawn a diagram of the bird on the blackboard which had wings, tail and the body structure with the head. And he had explained how birds used to get ready before they used to take a flight, which means before they used to fly. He also explained to us how they change direction while flying. So how birds change their direction while they are flying was also explained to the children. At the end of the class, he wanted to know whether we had understood how birds fly. I said that I had not understood. Many other students also said that they had not understood. So, after the class was over, the teacher had asked the children if they understood, and there were few children along with Abdul Kalam who did not understand. He was not upset by our response. Instead, he took us to the seashore. That evening, the whole class was on the seashore. So, when he got the response that there were children who did not understand what he taught, he was not upset about it. What he did that day, he took all the children to the seashore. Birds were flying and chirping sweetly. At the seashore, there were birds who were flying and chirping sweetly. He showed the seabirds flying in a formation of 1 to 20 numbers. We saw the marvelous formation of birds and we were all amazed. So there were 10 to 20 number of birds who took their position all together before they flew. So all the children had seen that. Like for example, if you're going for a race, the announcement of ready, set, go is made. So when they are saying that, you form your posture before you run. So that helps you to take off. Similarly, birds also make a posture before they fly so that it helps them go upwards in the sky. When the children saw that 10 to 20 birds together they flew high up in the sky, they were actually amazed, they were surprised and happy. He showed the birds and asked us to see what it looks like when the birds fly. So while the birds were flying, the teacher had told the children to observe them, the birds. We saw the wings being flapped. He asked us to look at the tail portion and at the combination of flapping wings and twisting tail. So when the children were noticing, they saw that the wings of the birds were being flapped. He had asked the children to look at the tail area also of the bird along with the wings flapping. We noticed closely and found that the birds in that condition fly in the direction they want. So when the tail is twisted and when the wings are flapping, the birds fly and go to any direction they want to. Then he asked us to question where is the engine of the bird and how is it powered. When we switch on a machine, the engine is there in a machine. When we switch it on, it helps the machine to work. So similarly, the teacher had asked that now you all should be asking me a question that where is that engine present in the bird's body which helps the bird to start flying, and also how they get the power to fly. The answer was a bird is powered by its own life and the motivation of what it wants. All these things were explained to us within 15 minutes. So the answer to the question was that the bird's own life and motivation of where it wants to fly, how much it wants to fly, depends on the bird itself, and it is only on the bird that the power depends. So all these things were explained to the children within 15 minutes. We all understood the whole bird dynamics with a practical example. So the children had understood whatever the teacher was trying to explain in the class when they were practically shown. From that day, I thought that my future study had to be with reference to flight and flight sciences. So that day, Abdul Kalam had decided that his future study will be related to flight and the sciences which were related to flight. One evening after the classes, I asked the teacher, "Sir, please tell me how to progress further in learning flight sciences." So after he had decided that he is going to study about flight and flight sciences, one evening Abdul Kalam approached his teacher and asked him how he could further study more about flight sciences. He patiently explained to me that I should complete class 8, go to high school, and then I should go to college that may lead me to my education of flight. So the teacher had told him to first pass school and then go to college. Once he goes to the college, he is going to study about flight. This advice and the bird flying exercise given by my teacher really gave me a goal and a mission for my life. So this advice of going to the college and studying had given a mission to Abdul Kalam along with that practical view of how a bird flies. When I went to college, I took physics. When I went for engineering in Madras Institute of Technology, I took aeronautical engineering. So when Abdul Kalam was in college, he had taken physics as his subject, and after his college he went to this Engineering Institute of Technology in Madras, and over there he chose aeronautical engineering. Thus, my life was transformed as a rocket engineer, aerospace engineer and technologist. So after he chose aeronautical engineering, his life was transformed just like a rocket engineer, aerospace engineer and a technologist. That one incident of my teacher encouraging me to ask questions, showing the visual live example, proved to be a turning point in my life. So Abdul Kalam says that class and the practical example of how a bird flies, it proved to be a turning point in his life. The second question asked in the interview was, "We all regard you as the undisputed father of the Indian missile program." The interviewer says that Abdul Kalam is considered to be the father of Indian missile program. Please enlighten us on the integrated guided missile development program and 5 of its major projects. So there is a program named Integrated Guided Missile Development Program. They wanted to know about it and the 5 major projects under this program. In 1983, IGMDP envisaged development of 5 missile systems. Envisaged means imagined what will happen in the future. So this program knew what will happen in the future already. They had imagined, and there were 5 different projects. The name of the projects are given: Prithvi, Akash, Trishul, Nag and Agni. Their description is given individually. During the last 25 years, 2 strategic missile systems have been fully developed and they have been produced in quantity and deployed. So in the last 25 years, 2 of the missile systems have already been developed fully and everything has been produced in good number and they are ready for use in case it is needed. Akash has been ordered by the Air Force. A number of variants of Prithvi and Agni have also been developed. So Akash was ordered by the Air Force people and a number of different variants of Prithvi and Agni have also been developed. Not fully, but some parts of it. Third question asked was, we are often troubled by the inequality of access to education. How can this be resolved? How can the students help in solving this problem? So the next question was that it is usually a problem. Not every child is having the access of education because of the inequality in world. So how can this problem be solved? How can the students help solving this problem? This can be resolved only by enhancing the number of seats in professional courses like medical, pharma, and management, as has been done in the case of engineering. Today, a number of engineering seats are vacant. Students have a choice for getting the best education. Now, when it comes to professional courses, not everybody can apply for it. There are limited seats, limited children who can apply for it. So, Abdul Kalam says that this problem will be solved when the number of seats are increased, because today in case of engineering there are a lot of seats that are vacant, that are empty, and students can apply for the seat, even more students. So this will help most of the children to get the best possible education. Students can also solve the problem by going for distant education programs, which will reduce the load on classroom education. So the children can also solve this problem by sitting at home and taking private education classes, which will also reduce the classroom education because students will be there in their houses learning. Institutions have to ensure that in distant education program, the content quality is high and appropriately supplemented with contact programs. So the institutions have to make sure that if children are pursuing the distant education program, they get the best quality of education and notes online. Fourth question was, atom is usually associated with an atom bomb, which means destruction. Please enlighten us on the brighter side of nuclear energy, how it is used for creation and development. So the question means that every time we hear about atom, the only thing that strikes our mind is atom bomb, which actually causes destruction. So the interviewers wanted to know about the advantages of atom, about how it can be used for creating something or for the development. So the answer was, nuclear energy can be used for power generation. With nuclear energy, we can generate power. Medical application in case of medical use, and irradiation of seeds for quality agriculture. And also during the agriculture process, we can use atoms so that the seeds are of good quality, which can be stored for a longer period of time. So the fifth question was, how do you see India by 2020? Now the interviewers wanted to know about how Abdul Kalam thinks India will be in the year 2020. I visualize the following distinctive profile of India by 2020. So Kalam says that in a few points he will explain how he imagines India to be in 2020. A nation where the rural and urban divide has reduced to a thin line. So he was imagining that in 2020 India will be a nation where rural and urban divide has reduced to a thin line. Rural and urban divide refers to the inequality of needs that are given to the city people area and the village people area. So he feels that this thing will be reduced in time. A nation where there is an equitable distribution and adequate access to energy and quality water. So India will be a nation where there will be equal distribution of energy and water which is of a good quality. A nation where agriculture, industry, and service sectors work together in symphony. So, third point is, he imagines India by 2020 to be a nation where agriculture, industry work, and all the service sectors will work together in peace and with a lot of understanding amongst each other. A nation where education with value system is not denied to any meritorious candidate because of societal or economic discrimination. This line means that no matter whichever society or background a child comes from, if he or she is intelligent, the child will not be discriminated the child will get a chance to receive good quality of education in future. A nation which is the best destination for the most talented scholars, scientists, and investors. There might be different other countries, but he wants India to be a nation which has the best and the most talented scholars, which means students, scientists, and investors. A nation where the best of healthcare is available to all. So, India should be a country where the best quality of healthcare is available to all the people. A nation where the government is responsive, transparent, and corruption free. So, India would be a nation where the government responds to everybody's problems. It is transparent. Transparent means no hiding, nothing. Everything is going to be clear to the citizens of India, and the government is going to be corruption free. The government will not be selfish. A nation where poverty has been totally eradicated, illiteracy removed, and crimes against women and children are absent, and no one in the society feels alienated. So, India is going to be a nation where nobody is poor, nobody is illiterate, everybody is educated, and there are no crimes against women and children. And also, the people of the society should feel that they are united and of the same kind. A nation that is prosperous, prosperous means successful, healthy, secure means safe, devoid of terrorism. It means there will not be any kind of terrorism in the nation. It will be peaceful and happy and continues with a sustainable growth path, and it will continue growing in time. This is the nation he imagines. And lastly, a nation that is one of the best places to live in and is proud of its leadership. He imagines that this nation, India, is going to be one of the best places to live, and it is going to be very proud of its leadership qualities. The quality of leadership in people who live in India. Next question. We know that you are a connoisseur of classical Carnatic music. How and when did you develop this interest? So the interviewers knew that he was a connoisseur, which means expert of classical Carnatic music. Carnatic music means music of southern India. So the interviewers wanted to know how and when did his interest in such music develop. This I had developed when I was in St. Joseph College, Tricky. Particularly, I enjoyed the imaginative alpanas of music exponents like Miss Subbu Lakshmi and Srinivasa Iyer. So the interest had developed when Kalam was in St. Joseph College, Tricky, and he had enjoyed the music of especially two people. First one was M.S. Subbulakshmi and second one was Semangudi Srinivasa Iyer. My friend Santhanam and myself were regular listeners in Thiruvayur Tyagaraja festival. So there was this festival where such music was played and they were regular listeners, Abdul Kalam and his friend Santhanam, while we were studying in St. Joseph College, Tricky. We used to discuss the ragas for weeks in the hostel after listening to the music in the festival. So after they had heard the music in the festival, they used to talk about it in the hostel for weeks. Reaching to the last question in the chapter, any message for the future citizens of India? Friends, I would like to assert for the future citizens of India that no youth today needs to fear about the future. So the message that Abdul Kalam wants to give to the future citizens of India is that nobody needs to fear about the future. How? If you have an aim in life, realize that spent time cannot be recovered. The precious time has to be used for achieving the goal. Now, how will this happen? How can we not fear about the future? Today, we decide what we have to do in future and we start working for it, because we should realize the fact that once the time goes, it will never return. So this is the precious time where we should focus on our goal, and finally we'll reach to a point where we have achieved it, so we will not have any fear of future. Have the confidence to win, to defeat problems and succeed. Have a righteous heart. You will definitely succeed in all your missions. So you should always have confidence that you are going to win no matter what. You will defeat all your problems and you will succeed. You have to have a righteous heart, a good heart, and if you have a good heart, you are going to succeed in every mission that you have. Here, the chapter ends. This was basically an interview with Abdul Kalam, and the questions were asked, the answers have been explained. Please go through the chapter again, and I hope everything has been understood. That's it for the video and the chapter. Thank you so much for your patience, all of you.